Good morning. I'm Pete Najarian. This is the Take for Market Rebellion on this Monday morning, the start of another week. Last week continued that strength, that rebound, that big bounce back that a lot of folks were kind of looking for. Now, will that sustain? That's something we don't really know yet, but we're seeing some activity definitely starting off early today as well. So when we look back to last Friday, it was the second half of the day where we really did get the most of what we were looking for towards the very end. We had a big boost in the second half of trade for the Dow. It actually jumped about 350 points. That got the Dow back to up 275. So that gives you an idea of where we were, kind of flirting with red, in the red, but not that terribly bad, but a nice rebound. We got the same kind of a rebound out of the NASDAQ. NASDAQ jumped about 120 points second half of the day, finished the day up 2%. 280 points to the upside. NASDAQ really having this big rip back. As a matter of fact, the NASDAQ last week up about 8%. I look over at the Dow up 5.5%, the S&P up a little over 6%. Gives you an idea that rebound, the ability and resilience of the market to rally back. You know what else was rallying back was crude. Crude just a week ago or less, actually earlier in the week, we were seeing crude prices 94, 95. Finished out the week right around 105. So seeing a little bit of a rebound there as well. Now, the S&P did recapture that 4,400, got up there towards 4,460 in that area, maybe even a little bit higher. We watched volatility. The volatility index dropped from the 30s down towards 24. Volumes off the charts with volumes. 51.8 million contracts trading in the options world. Not the biggest day of the year, but a monstrous day. You start going over 50 million contracts, that's a big day. We had a couple of days where we'd slipped back. We were under 40 million. The average is still well over 40 million, but 51.8 million contracts, that's a big day. We saw gold, which it was 2,000 a week or so ago, a little bit higher than that actually, and then trading right around 1920. So give you a little perspective. You look over at what's been going on with gold and silver and copper and all these various commodities, whether it's wheat or corn and all of that. But we always do focus most, it seems like, including myself, on crude. So crude does stand out, and it stands out because it's back over 100, trading, as I said, 105. Volatility index right around 24. It wasn't too many trading sessions ago that we were still hanging that level over 30 and holding on to that 30 level. But we've seen a pretty dramatic pullback as the markets have gotten people a little bit more comfortable with things as we've seen this bounce back. So if you look, it was technology up a little over 2%, consumer discretion up a little higher than 2%, semiconductors up 2%. Energy actually returned to flat. It had been bouncing around a little bit. Communications, that area definitely strong and kind of an outlet off of technology, but had a pretty nice sector run as well towards the end of the week on Friday. What was really powering a lot of the moves that we were seeing to the upside? Moderna, definitely one of those names. Match Group, definitely pushing to the upside. A nice rebound. PayPal, after getting absolutely slaughtered, but it's been steadily kind of rising back up. DocuSign, you look at Okta, a lot of these different types of names in that technology world that we're starting to get a little bit of a move, and you're starting to see people with a little bit more interest in having risk and going to some of the riskier names. Chinese names stand out as well. PDD, NetEase, those kinds of names having a pretty good day. Salesforce. And when you look at the biggest market cap names, you look at Apple and Amazon and Facebook and Tesla and Netflix, you look at those names, that was a really big, powerful move as well that gave the markets, and specifically the NASDAQ, a really nice lift. Don't forget about uranium. I've been talking about this now for a while. I don't hear a lot of other folks really talking about it. I'll continue to hammer on this. And the reason why is we continue to see all of that option activity from Uranium Energy Corp to Energy Fuels to Cameco, or you take your pick. We have been seeing it. ETFs as well. We've seen some of that activity. And maybe we might just have a little something on the unusual on that side of things as well. Crude continues to get that boost, continues to get that bounce again today. Matter of fact, last I looked, it was 109. Last I looked, it actually had ticked over 110. So a nice lift after being 95 but last Wednesday. And here we are trading, call it 110 right now. Pretty nice bounce back. 10-year. About 2.2. That's where it seems to be. Fed was obviously the focus of last week. That was a big focus of last week for all the right reasons, on top of what we know is the base of what we've been looking at with Ukraine and Russia. But the Fed certainly having a big play on what's going on in the markets, at least right now. Look at the volatility index. It's starting to gradually move up just a little bit, but still it's under 25. So we've got volatility holding underneath 25. They always have said in the past that there's an old cliche, between 20 and 25, it's kind of no man's land. You get up above 25, you get up above 30, a lot easier to understand where you want to kind of position and how you want to position yourself. But this 20 to 25 oftentimes been looked at as that no man's land. Keep an eye on that. Energy started off strong, continues to be strong. Matter of fact, last I looked, we were up about 3.5%. Materials holding on, almost a 1% move to the upside. Financials really not doing a whole lot. And maybe that's a good thing because we are seeing technology getting hit down more than 1%. I was looking at semiconductors. They were down more than 1.5%. Things started off a little bit more calm. We were actually looking at a fairly flat opening. We were down 20, up 20, back and forth across that line. But then we started to sink. And as we were sinking, we've been watching very closely. Matter of fact, before I came on, NASDAQ down about 150. I looked over at the Dow. It was actually down and tumbling as well, down about 195. So we are seeing a little bit of an influence, certainly from technology represented within the Dow as well. Some of the top news that we have been seeing, Boeing certainly is the top for everybody this morning. That unfortunate situation, the crash in China, again, the 737, but a different 737, but nonetheless, the optics certainly aren't looking good right now for Boeing, and that's a very tragic event that we are seeing. But that certainly is part of what's going on and why the Dow is getting hit as well. Now, why do we watch this take consistently? Obviously, a lot of people want to get a quick rundown, but also on top of that, some of the unusual option activity. We've had Didi last Thursday. That thing was an absolute monster. We had Anaplan on Friday, PLAN, name that we had not seen before, or at least if we have, it's been very, very rare. But we had, that's a cloud platform company. We had those buyers of the 5,000 of those calls at the 50 strike. Well, they're getting a buyout from private equity of 66. That was a rocket ship to the upside. Can't promise anything like that. It's just things happen sometimes, and it's great when we see that ahead of time and we see some of the options, and then suddenly we see something moving. You never know what the catalysts might be. Might just be part of what's going on within the markets, but certainly a lot of strength, and appreciate you all watching each and every day. So where is some of the strength coming from? Mosaic, we've got CF Industries. We've got a lot of strength there. That's been some strength. I believe Mosaic hit another new high today. Beta Energy on fire, of course, with the price of oil. You look at Oxy, you look at Marathon Oil, you look at APA, you look at Diamondback, all having a nice push to the upside. Tesla, DocuSign kind of helping out a little bit as well. But on the weaker side, you've got Boeing, you've got the airlines, United and Delta and America, all of those getting hit to the downside. Some of the cruise ships as well. Matter of fact, we've got some put buying in some of the cruise area. That's something that we're not going to be hitting, but I'm just letting you know. And then you've got Nielsen, a big drop to the downside. Some of those gambling plays like Caesars and Penn National getting hit today. The Chinese names also getting hit today. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but if you focus specifically on a lot of these NASDAQ names, that's where we're seeing percentage-wise the biggest moves by far so far, although the Dow is slipping pretty consistently as well. So I'm going to finish with this. We've got two unusuals, got nothing on the halftime today. None of that. We do have cash flow portfolio, and I will be on WCCO. You can catch that streaming in about 25 minutes. Should be a lot of fun. That's WCCO.com. You can do the live streaming. I got Shaletta today, which is going to be awesome. We'll be talking some sports and some finance and have a lot of fun. We had a great time on the huddle this past Sunday as well. I encourage you to listen to that as well. Me and Mike Max, it's really a lot of fun. It's 2 hours every Sunday from 10 to noon Central Standard Time. So keep an eye out for that one as well. CCJ. Trading 28.50. Now, Cameco, again, uranium hitting again. Of course it is. And this just consistently hitting. 6 separate hits just since we've got into the month of March where we've seen bullish activity for CCJ. 4,100 of this week's expiring March 25th, The 30 strike calls, stock, as I say, 28.50. They're buying the 30 strike calls, 40 cents to 50 cents, fairly inexpensive, gets you an opportunity to be in there. We did have some buying on Friday as well, very large buying. Buyers later in the day, a lot bigger than what we're seeing right now. Secondly, I'm sticking with energy. I'm going to give you Occidental, OXY. I don't think this is over. I don't think the old man is as crazy as everybody else seems to think. At least that was the word on the street. Why was Warren Buffett buying Occidental? Well, he also just made another huge purchase insurance-wise as well. So the Oracle continues to be very active, and a lot more active than people maybe have expected. They've been buying back their own stock. That's been one thing, but now going out buying an insurance company and a big position in Occidental. Oxy trading right around 60. We've got 6,000 of the March 25th. That's the end of the week. The 60 strike calls. So they're buying the calls right where the stock is. 95 cents up to about $1.90. So a lot of activity there in the energy space. Continue to see that activity. It's why we continue to have, at least I continue to have, a very large presence in the energy space, specifically with options, giving me that risk ability to be able to lever that up as much as I want to be able to do. So I don't think energy is over. I think we've got a little bit of a bounce still in front of us, and we're seeing some of that now. 105 Friday, 110 today. We're seeing a pretty significant bounce from last Wednesday where we were trading 95. Folks, have a great day of trading. Look forward to seeing you. And if you get a chance, try to catch up with us on WCCO in about 20 minutes from now. Take care.